Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the STVZ-39, the Tier 4 Czechoslovakian medium tank. First of the medium tanks on the Czechoslovakian lines. And this is not an amazing game, but it's the first Ace Tanker, so I've got to bring it to the channel. And I didn't like this tank very much. In fact, I got through the grind. On this tank. I unlocked the Tier 5 before even getting an Ace. So I got sick of looking at this tank in the garage and ended up playing a bunch of games back to back just to get the Ace, and it took quite a few attempts. I didn't like the tank very much. I was expecting better things because I haven't been impressed by most of the Czechoslovakian tanks so far, and this one disappointed as well. When I first started playing it, it actually felt better. It actually felt better than the Tier 2 and 3 did, but yeah, as I played more games in it, it's got the same issues. It's a little bit slow, it's a little bit sluggish. It's quicker than the previous light tanks, but it's still slow and sluggish. The gun is okay. It gets very, very good penetration. It is a 47mm, gets 86mm of penetration, and that's very good for a Tier 4. But the downside is I just found I was bouncing too many shots. You know, shooting this gun at tanks with 70mm of penetration, I should be able to pen, but nope, just constantly bounce. Shooting tanks with 75mm, 70mm of penetration, KV-1s in their weak spots, still bouncing. So I just found this gun, the penetration seems to lack at distance, even close up the gun seems to lack, but it does have 10 degrees of gun depression, and it is quite accurate. The premium ammo is pretty good. You get APCR at 132mm of penetration, 60 damage. So definitely this tank, it's much better firing premium, but you know, the standard AP is pretty good if you're top tier. But as I say, shooting heavily armored tanks, especially higher tier tanks, even against targets I should have been able to penetrate, I just found myself bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. So I really didn't like the gun, didn't like the tank very much, and somehow didn't manage to ace it during the grind. But anyway, here we go. We are on Himmelsdorf. During the countdown to this game, I was telling the team, please go hill, because I've just played a series of games on Himmelsdorf where the entire team never went hill, and we constantly lost games. I was losing so many games on this tank. Getting into Tier 6 games where most of the team didn't know what they were doing, and so yeah, I wasn't expecting much. I was saying, please, go hill. And the first thing that happened was, if you look at the minimap, 3 of our heavy tanks are rolling towards the 1-2 lines, towards cap, which is why I make the comment. So yeah, during the countdown, I think I said it twice, please go hill, we will win. Our team has had a good start. Panzer 4H takes out the T-28 on the enemy team. But you can see we're doing 13 kilometers an hour uphill, and this is a medium tank. The engine power, the power to weight ratio, it's just horrible. It really is. You can see how slow this tank accelerates. We're taking forever to get up to 40 kilometers an hour. But it looks as if the enemy team haven't sent too many tanks up to the hill. So RT's been spotted. And I'm going to be using my 10 degrees of gun depression, but it's just not good enough. And unfortunately a KV-1, which I thought was safe. There we go, we've just bounced on a Stuart. We've just bounced on a Stuart with 86mm of penetration. Yeah, that KV-1, I didn't think he had shots, but he managed to sneak a shot past that wreck and into me, so I've lost half my hit points, so you only get 380 hit points. I'm going for the easier target with the standard AP. Now, I do end up firing quite a bit of premium in this game, and I do apologize. I usually don't fire a lot of premium, but I just found this tank too depressing to play. I just bouncing so many shots with regular AP. Just hints of shots of the KV-1. Again, miss, bounce, change to premium ammo, and now we can pen. So going for his weak spots, don't have much to shoot at. So again, you can argue I didn't need a premium to hit the weak spots on the KV-1, but yeah, you didn't see the games that came prior to this where I was just bouncing shot after shot. Now, I decided not to take a shot there. I actually missed out on some damage. Decide to switch back to some premium or regular AP and miss out on damage as a result, because as I say, I don't like firing premium ammo. So I missed out on some damage. You got to see the slow turret traverse. Cost me a shot in the T-67. So really, this is a horrible little game, but it doesn't matter. It's the first ace, so it has to come up on the channel. So there's a Stug waiting down here on the corner. I'm keeping an eye on him. He's waiting for us to come around this corner. Nice ambush set up, and there's a Panzer 4H as well. So what I didn't actually realize what the Stug has just fired, but I don't want to go around this corner because I've only got 178 health, and there's still a lot of tier 5 heavies on the enemy team, so I'll wait for someone else to move around the corner, wait for the Stug to fire, but the Stug seems to be completely ignoring the tanks in front of him, and again you can see regular AP, bouncing, have to go for weak spots, go for a shot in the Stuart, get one in. And now we've got the Panzer IV-H, which apparently is not paying attention. He seems to have DC'd, so we're shooting on the move, missing lots of shots on the move, another reason I hated this tank. And KV-1 to my right is just fired, so I can get across the road, that's okay. So now we've got a full health KV-1 to deal with, and I'll switch back to premium again, because I know just how bloody frustrating this gun is. But because I'm not dealing with the KV-1 frontally, I switch back to regular AP. I do so much ammo swapping in this game. But there's still an OI that's been spotted north. And what I'm planning to do is I'm going to try and flank this KV-1 with my regular AP, but Wolverine appears, that's okay, he's on low health. So we're going to flank the KV-1, and then an OI experimental appears and he's on 450 health, and once again switch back to premium, then decide, well hang on, he's only got 70mm of side armor if I hit above his spaced armor, so I'll stick with the regular AP. Lots of ammo swapping. So take out the Wolverine first, and you can see here what you're going to see is the low alpha damage. 1 shot, 2 shots, and he gets away. So KV-1 is still alive. OI Experimental still on quite a lot of health, and I'm debating whether or not to chase these guys down. And then the only other ally I had gets ambushed by an Su-85, so we've lost our Panzer IIIA. That means there's an Su-85, an M5 Stuart, a KV-1, and an OI Experimental all somewhere along the 8 line. So I was going to ambush the corner, but score is 10-10, and all our heavies, for some reason, who were capping have decided now to drive out of the cap because they're hunting arty. So I've got to try and use my speed and maneuverability to try and get around the maps, try and ambush enemy tanks, so that's what I'm doing. Switch back to premium ammo because I'm expecting to run into the OI, and no sign of him. So trying to maneuver in this tank is not a lot of fun. Su-85 has gone down into the bottom corner. So now it's just a question of where are these heavies gone? The KV-1 was here, the OI Experimental was here. We know where the Su-85... Oh, there's the OI. So I've got rear... Nope, there's the KV-1. So KV-1's a one-hit kill. And as I say, this gun, even with premium ammo, we bounce, we take him out. Now we can focus on the rear of the OI. And again, I'm firing premium. Again, technically, I probably don't need it against the OI, but, you know, I just know this gun. As you can see, bouncing, hit the Stuart, and he gets into cover. So just one tank left on the enemy team, and I'm not thinking this is a great game. I mean, I've done 1,000 damage, but I've done 1,000 damage in lots of other games in this tank, and they weren't aces. But maybe it was because I was mainly shooting higher tier tanks. So I'm just hunting down this Stuart, back to the regular AP, because I figure regular AP is all I need for this Stuart. We bounced a shot in an M5 Stuart earlier on, and now we've just bounced a shot in an M3 Stuart. So, yeah, the penetration on the regular ammo, even though it's 86mm, just does not feel that good. So I miss a ram. Again, tank is just not maneuverable. Turret traverse means I miss another shot, so fail a little bit towards the end, but we end up picking up the kills. So 3 kills and just over 1,000 damage done. So yeah, first ace in the STVZ39, which incidentally is not its actual name. I don't know why Wargaming called it the STVZ39. Maybe it was just to keep it in line with the previous tanks that came in the tech tree, but historically speaking, this tank was called the V8H. Only 2 were built. They were prototype tanks, never made it into mass production. Built in the late 1930s, but V8H is the actual name for this tank, and in fact, in the game files for World of Tanks, it's called the V8H. So again, as I said, not quite sure why it got a name change, but yeah, it just didn't impress me very much. A lot like the lower tier Czechoslovakian tanks that came before it. It's just too slow, too sluggish. I mean, the gun is okay, it's got good gun depression like the previous tanks, but the alpha damage is low, and it's just too slow and sluggish for my liking, but thankfully it's done. I ground through this tank and ended up having to play a lot of extra games in it to try and get the ace, and I just didn't enjoy my time in it, but it's done, it's dusted, it's gone. So yeah, we didn't even come first on the team. 884 XP was enough to get the ace with just about 1100 damage, 3 kills. Now I suppose I was shooting higher tier tanks. Our Churchill 3, who drove straight to cap and sat there for most of the game, seemed to have a good game over there. Maybe the enemy sent a lot of tanks to cap as well. But yeah, 36 shots fired, 28 hits, so the accuracy is okay, but a lot of those shots were at close range. But of the 28 hits, we only managed to pen 19, and considering I did have to switch to premium ammo, and even the premium ammo was bouncing occasionally, I just find the penetration on this gun very, very lacking, even though on paper it's quite good. We spotted 1, damaged 9, destroyed 3, and because I did have to fire some premium, ended up only earning 6,000 credits. So wasn't my first game of the day. As I say, I finished the grind, I elited the vehicle, and then I just sat down on it and played game after game in it till I got the ace and lost a lot of those games. But yeah, it's done, it's dusted, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.